Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Melissa from the Top Drawer RVA. Today's little makeover project is this cute little brown box. I added one even coat of coffee bean before I began this video, and let's jump right in to watching the live. Today's project is Terra Clay paint and the new balance transfer.
We have this weird and wild little box. Picked up this box at a local Goodwill shop a very long time ago, and I just haven't painted it because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I know that I was going to buy it because it's solid wood, and I bought these legs. I'm going to put hairpin legs on this box and make it actually into a table, which is really cool. So it's going to be like a low little kind of, could be a coffee table, could be an end table. You never know. You can grab these off of Amazon. They're fairly cheap. I will probably put them spray painted in gold because why not? We love some gold. So to prep this little box for paint today, all I did was do one even coat of coffee bean. Why did I do one even coat of coffee bean? Well, I did that because we're going to use Terra paint today. And Terra paint is a clay paint, which I love. I love some Terra clay paint. But I find that I like to really wet it and mash it and move it around. And when I have a nice solid base of silk all-in-one mineral paint or chalk mineral paint, what is going to happen is it's going to give me a nice base for my Terra to grab onto. So Terra is a water-based, I believe it's no VOC. I want to say low VOC, but I believe it's no VOCs. You know, it's like a really nice earthy clay paint. It's thicker. It's an artisan paint. There's no rules. You can use it in the same manner as chalk mineral paint, but I like to use it for layering and building texture and creating amazing designs within my projects. The pieces that I do really, really gorgeous looks on are probably Terra. Terra is a no rules artisan paint. So on the floor, I decided to open up all of my Terra in the colors that are blue, okay? So I will tell you as I go along and use them what color I am using, because on the floor I have like all the beautiful blues, because today on this little wood box we are going to paint a pond, a little water scene here over on the Dixie Belle Paint page. And while I'm painting it, I'm going to keep in mind that I am going to be using, when it's dry, my balance transfer. Have you seen this one before? Get out, get out. There it is, the balance transfer. This is 4 sheets. I did use a couple of the images on a tray. This is the really pretty little fish. There's like a little goldfish on here and lily pads. Look at this cutie little inspo. So you've got these gorgeous fish, and I've got this beautiful box that I'm going to make into a table. And my thought is make the box look like water, right? Like make the box look like a murky green pond, and we're gonna put these fish on there. But I'm not gonna do the fish today, because when you're using Terra paint and using transfers, you need to be very, very, very aware of the fact that your Terra paint needs to be super duper dry, like I'm talking like dry for days, in order to put your transfers onto a Terra paint. It's also recommended that if you're putting transfers onto Terra paint, you should seal your projects first. And you're not going to be sealing your Terra project in wax, because transfers don't like wax. We're going to be using either Terra Tough or Gator Hide or Terra Seal, something to lock your paint color in before you start putting these down, because Terra paint is very porous. It's a clay paint. It's kind of got those open pores, and it's probably going to be textured and a little bit bumpy. So sealing it is going to really save the day when it comes time to put the transfers on. So today's project is going to be inspired by this beautiful balance transfer. If you haven't seen it before, you should check it out. It's available on the Dixie Belle Paint page or at your local retailer. Give them a call, check it out, see if they have it there. And if they do, grab it, because this is a cutie. I really like this one. All right, so let's begin. So this box has, like, you can open it up. Somebody made this, y'all. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a handmade box, which makes me like it even more. Maybe they could have kept something important in here. I have no idea, but for now, we're just gonna make it into a pond. So let's begin, shall we? I'm gonna aim the camera down. I might cut off my own head, but that's okay, because you're gonna be able to see exactly what we are doing over here. Remember, on the floor, I have all of my Terra paint open. When I apply my Terra paint, I like to use a natural bristle brush, because it just gives that texture and that finish that I really go for when I'm using Terra. I like a textured, deep finish, and these brushes are what makes it happen. So this is the French tip. I also have on the floor my best dang brush, because hello, This is my favorite brush in the whole entire world, as well as a couple different chip brushes, okay? So first color, let's go dark. Let's go dark on the edges. I'm gonna start with Galaxy. Galaxy is a really, really deep blue. Now when I say it's thick, this is how thick I'm talking. Look at that paint. See that thickness? I'm going to be using a lot of water with this paint, and we're just gonna play. Let's lay down some colors and see if we can't make some magic happen. I did put this little table, this little box up on some wheels so that I can really kind of get it moving around easy. It's not very big, but it's heavy. I think I'm gonna stipple my color on, and by stippling, I mean I'm gonna push it like this. I wanna make this like an organic feel, okay? I don't want my pond to look manufactured. I want this to look as real as possible. So we're gonna start with Galaxy, and we're just gonna start stippling on our colors. I think once I lay out my color pattern, I think what'll happen is I'll start to blend it then with my best dang brush. So I'm not even gonna change my brush, y'all. I'm gonna keep the same brush going. I'm gonna move into some London Blue now. London Blue is very similar to Galaxy, but when it dries, it's just a touch, it's just a shade different. It's a shade, I believe the shade lighter than the other one. The other one, the Galaxy, has more of a blue touch to it. And this one, the London Blue, has more of a greenish tinge to it. So let's just make a beautiful mess, shall we? This is my favorite kind of painting. Like I said, stippling is always the best for me. I feel like it's just gonna be the way that I'm gonna get the most natural look. And this paint dries really fast, you guys, like super duper fast. So I might add a bunch of layers or start spraying it and mashing it around. I might even hold this up and like tip it and let the water run and pull the colors. Let's move into a little bit of black, okay? Black is the Onyx in the Terra line. I'm still gonna keep the same brush, okay? That nice chunky pudding-like paint, look at it. Because I don't want it to be too bright. Even though I'm gonna be adding some greens in here, I still wanna keep my base fairly dark. And I tend to like darker around the edges anyways. So let's add a little bit of Onyx. I'm digging the fact that this table is on wheels because this is just gonna let me move my paint around. Now, because I'm using the same brush on different colors, that means none of these colors are gonna stay true to the color that I'm laying down. I want you to think of this paint as an artisan paint. It's a layering paint. Let's see, ciao, somebody's saying ciao to me. Ciao, hi, how are you? I can't read that Italian, but I know ciao is hello, so hello. All right, I'm gonna move into a little bit of the green, okay? So this is agave, blue agave. It has like a greenish tinge. And again, I'm gonna keep this brush until I move into like the lighter greens. I think I wanna keep this kind of like a paint mash. I don't want to change my brush yet. And I like this stippled effect because we are going to move it around and spray it, and then we will get that paint really blended. Okay, now I'm going to change brushes. So I'm going to switch to another chip brush, and I'm going to move into this beautiful Cerulean Blue. Can you see that beautiful blue? Can you see how it's thick, that nice thick pudding consistency? Let's start making some magic happen. After this blue, we're going to jump into the greens. So textured paint, this clay paint, this textured paint is going to dry in this really stippled effect, okay? It's not going to be smooth, and I don't want it smooth. I want to keep it as kind of like free-flowing and organic as possible. So for me, I'm fine with stippling it on and having texture because I want this to really start to look like a pond. We're gonna spray it and move it around as well. And I'm gonna seal this anyways before I put my transfers on, before I put my little fish on here. And I'm just gonna go with the flow. So the front of this piece has these metal hinges, these metal hardwares on it, right? At the front and the back. I have used Terra to paint over top of metal and had zero issues. I've had Terra stick to metal with no problems without using any slick stick or any other bonding primers. Whether or not it was just a case-by-case process, and if it'll work for you, I don't know, but I have personally had great success using Terra Clay paint over top of hinges on a piece and not having it not having it move. It stayed, and I tested it. I did seal that project when I did paint over the metal hinges with my Terra Wax, which currently at this point is off the market. They were bringing it back soon, and I had great luck sealing it and getting it to where I wanted it. So if you're using Terra paint over top of metal, I suggest you try it and test it. Okay, I'm not saying that it might work for everybody, but it might work for you. All right, let's move into Malachite. Look at this gorgeous green. Malachite has this beautiful emerald color to it. It's really, really pretty. And I really want to add green to this pond as well. I'm going heavy-handed because, again, this is just my first coats. Terra paint reactivates when you wet it, so I'm just kind of going to lay it all down, get it on this piece, and then we're going to start to spray it and move it around and see what happens. I want this project to look like a pond with water. So I think this is going to take a couple coats. I probably should have brought my heat gun over here, but I did not. So you can use your heat gun to help speed the process if you like, but I find that this paint in general goes pretty quick for dry time. As long as you're keeping your layers fairly thin. Like if I was really slamming it on and I left it as thick as that right there, you might have to wait a little bit longer for it to dry. But I really just want to move it around. So you can also use your Best Dang brush. Your Best Dang brush is your natural fiber brush that's really great for blending. I like to use it wet. You could take it and you could start to swirl these colors and see what happens. But I don't want to muddy it up too much. I want to create some texture first. But this is what's going to happen is you're going to get like a nice cloudy effect. It's going to keep its texture, this Terra paint. It's not going to lose the texture. Using small circular motions is going to be able to really mash this paint around and make it look truly organic. Can you see how pretty that looks? How that looks like a water, an ocean maybe, or pond. I guess they're goldfish. They can't really be sea dwellers. They need to be in a pond. So that is a lot of green. So mashing this around and seeing, I can tell that right now I love the color of that blue agave, but I'm not loving too much of this really bright green. So let's go back to putting some of that blue. Is it blue agave? Blue agave? For some reason, Dixie Belle loves to try my pronunciation of words. You know, my Canadian accent doesn't really save the day very often. I think it's blue agave. I'm gonna be wrong. I'm gonna have to look it up when I get off my live and check, because that's gonna drive me crazy. If you know, write it down the way that it sounds in the comments below so that I can learn too, because y'all, obviously, I don't know how to say it. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. It's just pretty paint. All right, I like that. I like that mash. Let's turn this around. And then we're going to really, I'm gonna bring it nice and close, and I'm gonna tilt the camera so you guys get a great view. Agave. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me. I appreciate that. Y'all are so good. Somebody on here always knows the answer. It's amazing. So I'm gonna spray my brush. Remember, I've got this Best Dang brush. It really holds the pigment. And this paint has a lot of pigment, like a lot. So let's just start swirling it around and see what kind of magic we can make. You can always let this paint dry and then add more layers as well, like as you go. But it's up to you. It's an artisan paint. There's no rules. There's no rules in painting. I just want to get a nice cloudy base for my fish. Right now it's looking almost like a geode rather than looking like water per se. I need to add more blue. I'm seeing a lot of dark here, but I think I need to add more blue, right? More light. I also opened on the floor the Wisteria Mist, which has like a little bit of purple. Let's get a little crazy. Let's get some craziness going on right here and add some of my favorite color, Pistachio. Pistachio is the most prettiest bright green. Let's see what happens when we mix a little bit of that in there. Remember, this is a pond, Melissa. This is a pond, not an ocean, because these are fish that would live in a pond, not in the ocean. I kind of like the green. I kind of dig that green. What do we think about that brightness right there? Is that too bright? Should I be adding more blue, more light blue? What are your thoughts on this process? Weigh in, tell me. Is this too dark? Want me to hold up a piece of the transfer? You can see what it looks like on top. Remember, these fish are very light. And from what I've seen, they're kind of transparent. So the fish themselves might actually show a little bit of what's underneath. Somebody says that they like the green. Katie says, it's Katie or Carrie? I can't see Carrie, sorry. Carrie likes the green, but look, the lily pads are also different colors too. I kind of think the green might be a good contrast with the orange, right? I don't know. I just want it to look like a pond, and I knew that my Terra paint would be the paint that's going to get me there because it is the most movable, if that makes sense. You can really move this paint around and get your desired effect easily. It's not hard to make this paint look like you worked really hard, if that makes sense. It's like the cheater pumpkin eater. You can get away with a little bit more on this paint because it looks like you're doing a lot of hard work, but it's not that hard to blend at all. Let's see, like a collard green. So with the Terry line, there's not as many colors as the CMP, the Chug Mineral Paint line, but there are some really great blues, which is what I have open here on the floor. So the dark Malachite is just coming across as a little bit too bright for me. Like I feel like I want to dull it a little bit and maybe add another tone. But I do like the Cerulean Blue. I do like that one. Let's finish this little top and then see what we can do with moving this paint around in layers. Because I want to move it. I want to make it like completely look like cloudy water. So I'm just going to keep pouncing this paint on. I like a thicker Terra. I've got my best dang brush. I'm going to brush it off here on the rag. And you can spray this or you can actually spray your Terra. So I'm going to show you, let's get this kind of blended first. After we mash this around and blend it up and get this beautiful blend, I think I'll tip it. I think what I'll do is actually tip this entire piece so that the paint will run a little bit and I can create some natural movement. I like to make this paint move, if that makes sense. When it runs and drips, it does the most fabulous things. It creates the prettiest look. I've used it in like drippy flowers. I haven't created like a water like this before, but I mean, if there's a paint to make something look like water, it's going to be Terra. Okay, one more section over here. I've kind of stopped working on the sides. I'm just working on the top. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now they've all been kind of blended together. It helps me too when I look at the camera where you guys are looking because I can actually see like a difference. Here when I'm looking, I get the reflection of the light. So it does help. So this is what we have so far. Is it too much of one color than the other? Let's see, tip it up on a corner and spray it. It'll totally look like, David, you're right, you're a genius. I know my plan is to definitely tip it and run it a little bit. Is there too much crazy going on? Should I have more of one color, I guess is my question. Because right now I'm seeing like some fairly dark around the corners, but I usually like dark around the corners. Let me move some of this paint. Let me move some of this color to be less defined, if that makes sense. If I rub the edges, then it's going to kind of blend together. That's a bit better. I like that. What do we think? Maybe blend some more. I think you're right. Good gracious, this thing is heavy. It is heavy. And like I said, I'm going to be painting right over top of the hinges because I've had very good luck with Terra sticking to metal. I suggest everybody tries it in their own way, but I really like it. Okay, so what's happening is over on this corner's too bright for me, right here. I'm going to spray it because you know that Terra paint reactivates with water, right? I'm going to spray it first. Get rid of some of that really bright green. I think that's what was bothering me. I think it's the Malachite. Because I like the pistachio over there. That pistachio is treating me well. I do like that. Let's add some more bright pistachio and see what happens. Let me see. See, I like that better. I like that green, that bright kind of, looks like green algae, which is great because we're making a little pond. We're making a pond happen. I do like the pistachio. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably my most favorite color in this line, other than that really deep purple, which is fabulous. The bougainvillea is pretty. There's a lot of really pretty colors in this Terra line. Okay, see, I like that better. That looks more like a pond to me, right? It does look like an aquarium. Good, because let's look at my fish again. That's the look we're going for, right? We're using the balance transfer on this when it's done. See, I just like green and orange together. I think that green and orange together looks great. I like that. This part makes me happy. I'm liking it better. It was, you know what it was? It was the Malachite was too dark green. Okay, so next step, let's take this little table. Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna aim you back a little bit, and we are going to hold this up. I'm not kidding y'all when I said that it's not light. It's kind of too heavy. Okay, so we have a more vertical surface. Let me move some of this paint before I make a ginormous mess. Here's the ticket. When Terra Clay paint is wet, you can reactivate it. I could spray any one of these areas over here and reactivate this paint and move it and brush it around. You can bring it back to life, but it needs to be wet. So that also means if you take a spray misting bottle filled with water, or you can even use vinegar. Vinegar gives you a great result too, because vinegar will make it look more like spidery. You'll get a more of a spidered veined effect. So this is just plain water. I want to make sure you can see. Okay, I'm holding this vertically. I should get the paper towel. I mean, it would be smart to put paper towel down and not make the biggest mess in the world, but I'm already holding this thing. Let's see if I can do it with my body. All right. Move the paint out of the way because I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to put my little napkin down here on the floor, and we're going to take the spray misting bottle filled with water. Let's start making some runs happen. If you power wash it, like if I power wash this real hard, I can actually pull back the paint and get a entirely different effect, where whatever I put underneath, which was that beautiful coffee bean, will start peeking through. It's like if you power wash it hard enough, like if I power wash it right here where this paint is coming back, I'm gonna see the color underneath. And I kind of dig that too. And now it's starting to look like a little old, a little creepy, and we're gonna start to make a mess. So we're dripping this paint now, okay? We're gonna drip this, and we're gonna get a whole nother look. We're gonna start to get this paint moving. You can come in here with a spatula, and you can start to pull your paint if you wanted to, if that's a look you're going for. Right now I'm just playing. I literally might just like let this entirely get dry and see what happens. I do like this. I do like this, like when this lightness happens. It might be maybe less pulling of the paint up here and more dripping of the drips down below. So if I were to come in and add a bunch of, let's do it, let's show you. Let's add a bunch of this beautiful pistachio right here, just because I dig it. I like that color. Let's kind of ombre it in. Now watch this. Take your water and spray it. This pistachio is going to run down the piece and create beautiful drippy runs and layers. It's going to be so pretty. Hello from Bulgaria. How are you today? Thank you for joining us from so far away. So it's up to you how you want to manipulate your Terra. Terra is a no rules paint. You can build these layers. I could put this down, let this get dry, and then go directly over top again. It's all depending on what look you want. You know, if you want these drips, if you want these layers, you can leave it like that and continue along and like let it look drippy and layered, or you could wait for it to get dry and go ahead and paint right over top of it. So let's work on the bottom part before I let you go. We know that I liked this pistachio, right? So let's add a bunch of that on the side. I like the blue agave. Thank you to whoever told me how to pronounce it properly. I'm going to paint right over top of these hinges because I've found personally that my Terra does really well on metal. It's quite sticky. It sticks to anything. I'm going to come back in with the galaxy and some of that blue moon, I think. And then we're going to ombre blend it together as well. So here's the deal. It's almost like with clay paint, the less you think about it, the better it turns out. Does that make sense? Like the less you stress giving up that control, the better effect you're gonna get with your paint. It really is the kind of paint where being free and just like dripping your paint and having fun, that's when the best things happen. You really have to be loosey-goosey when it comes to that. Be a loosey-goosey when it comes to your Terra paint, and you will find that you get the best results. So I'm gonna spray this now, and we're gonna move some of this paint around. I want some drips. I want it to kind of move and create a watery finish. I really like this corner. I don't know about how much, I put a lot of pistachio up there. I might change it. I might do less. Let's see. They look like ripples in the water. See, this is good. This is what I'm going for, is water. And here's the deal. The less you stress, the better it turns out, right? You can take your paper towel. You can pick up some of this drips. Is it too much drips? Take them away. You know, you don't have to leave it like it is. You can come back in, swirl it around. Like it's really whatever you want to do. I can't reiterate that enough. Clay paint is a magical no rules paint that makes literally everybody an artist. It's not hard to use. Like you could do this. I promise. I promise you can. So let's do another side while I have you here. Let's see if I should close this box though. Oh my goodness, it's so heavy. I'm never gonna be able to do this with one hand. I got two hands in here and I jammed this thing in here. All right, I'm not gonna fight with it. I'll fight with it off camera. We'll leave it open. If I get a little paint on the edge, I get a little paint on the edge. So be it. Let's mash some of this color in here and finish one more side before I let you go. So these are all blues from the Terra line. Terra Clay paint is a clay paint that is water-based, dries quickly. You can spray it, you can reactivate it, you can move it around. It's one of those things that's just a heck of a lot of fun to play with. I really suggest getting maybe a canvas and feeling how it works for you. I think you'll really like what this paint does as a artisan paint, if that makes sense. Like as a movable paint, it really does just play well. And I always suggest that everybody play with their paint. It's just paint. If you don't like it, you can always paint over top of it. Now here's the other thing with Terra. It's gonna dry a little bit different than it looks when it's wet, okay? Because it's got a clay base, it tends to lighten up some when your paint is fully dry, and it's gonna take a long time to dry. It's not gonna dry really, really fast, okay? If you layer it on real thick or use a lot of water, it's gonna take a little bit longer to dry 100%, but it will dry. Just know that you're gonna need a little bit more time, and then you're gonna wanna seal it. Like I said, right now you cannot get the Terra Wax, but you can get the Terra Seal, or you could use gator hide. It's up to you. Just know that your paint is reactivated by water, so you can move it a little bit by getting in there and pushing really hard with your brushes. So you might want to have a light hand when you're coming in and sealing it. If you're adding a transfer, you're going to want to seal your project before you add that transfer to your painted project. Oh my gosh, I love that side. Can you see how pretty that is? Look at how pretty that side is. It's super pretty. Also, super clumsy. I really like that side. Let's do the same thing to the front. Let's do that here. Why can't I open this piece? What is happening? I must have jammed. Well, that's open. I don't know what I did with the little, you know what I did? It's stuck in here. I need like a hammer to like winch it open. And I do not have one on the floor with me, so I'll do it afterwards. Anyways, let's see. Best Dang Wax or Big Mama's Butter does not really work well on Terra because Best Dang Wax is a water-based product and you kind of have to work it in. What's going to happen and you're going to find is that your Best Dang Wax is not really going to bring the color back to life that you really want to get on this Terra. The best results that I've had is with the Terra Wax, but currently it's off the market. They're bringing it back as soon as they can. I really like the Terra Wax because it's just strong as nails. It's a product that's an oil-based wax, and it's just super duper tough. But you guys are gonna have to hang out and wait for it to come back. Check your local retailers to what they have for you to seal your Terra with, but it is recommended to use Terra Seal, or you could even use gator hide. There is other options. It's just not going to come up as bright and beautiful if you use Best Dang Wax, if that makes sense. There is a Terra training group here on Facebook that you can follow as well and learn all the hot tips. It is, I believe you can find it on the Dixie Belle Paint page. They have a really great Terra group with a lot of information in there, but I also have a couple videos up on my YouTube if you're looking. I like the ease of this paint. Like, you can see how fast and easy it is to get in here, blend, and create a piece that has a one-of-a-kind look. I always feel like my Terra pieces, they just look like I worked really, really hard. And it's more fun than it is hard, to be honest with you. I'm going to spray again because I want some of these drips. I do recommend natural bristle brushes versus synthetic to apply your Terra. I like the effect that it gives you a little bit better. It gives you more of a textured look, if that makes sense. I think the paint likes having a texture, building those layers. Ooh, I really like that spot right there with those drips. Isn't that pretty? That is really pretty. This is gonna be super cute. When I put the legs on this piece and make it into a table, should I keep the legs black or should I actually make them gold? Thoughts? Let me know. Drop it in the comments below. Tell me if you think. I'll probably wait until the piece is 100% done because I'm gonna wanna see it with the fish on it. Tell me if you think the legs should be gold or if the legs should be left black. Remember, there is hardware on the piece, but I'm painting it because all the luck that I've had with Terra is that my Terra sticks amazing to metal. So I've never had a problem yet. So I'm gonna leave all of the metal on the piece painted and just go with the flow. So what do you think, gold legs or black legs? And let me know drop it in the comments below. So what'll happen today after I'm finished this painting is that I will wait until tomorrow to seal this. Because this paint takes such a long time to kind of to dry all the way, if that makes sense, because I'm putting it on so thick and I'm using so much water. I don't want my transfers to not have any issues sticking. So I'm going to be waiting for this to get like super duper dry before I do that. And I'll seal it before I put those transfers on. This looks like a murky pond to me. I don't know about y'all, but I think this looks like water. This looks like a drippy, watery pond. And I'm digging it because that's the look I was going for. You know, I've had this box for like, I bet you over a year. And I just haven't painted it yet. I was waiting for the right thing. It wasn't speaking to me yet. I had to wait for it to tell me what it wanted to be. Okay, now I'm going to spray because I want some of this color to run. And give me a drippy water effect. Super cute. Oh my gosh, I'd pick this up and show you, but it would fall down again. What do we think? Do you like it? I like it. I actually was thinking I might paint more on the top, but now that I'm seeing it as it is, no, there's one spot that I do want to paint. I see one spot where, remember I told you if you sprayed real hard, you could like lift the paint off? I don't think I want to. I think I want to keep it kind of like murky and looking like a pond. So if the paint is coming up where I sprayed too heavy, I think I'm just going to add more paint. It's really textured, you guys. You can see these like valleys, peaks and valleys of paint on here. I do like the water though. I do like those water drips. I feel like it's making it look very super duper authentic. Just like real water would in a pond. I think I want more green. There's never enough. Give me more pistachio. It's my fave. Let's put more pistachio on here. Brighten it up some. Spray it with water. Move it around. Ooh, I like it. Sometimes I get caught up in the moment and I get excited. I get excited about what I'm painting. Okay, one more time. Let's look at this beautiful balance transfer compared to this project that we're working on. Remember, these fish are like a little bit translucent, right? Like they're gonna show a little bit about what's under here. Can you imagine them now? All these cutie little fish swimming on the top of this box that I'm gonna make into a table. I mean, I can see it. I think it's gonna be super cool. I think I'll end up like gilding the edges, maybe adding a little bit of moonshine metallics and blue. What do we think about that? That's super cute. I love it. I think it's fabulous, and this is what I'm gonna do for the next, probably rest of the day, because I like to play with my paint. Let's see, it is gonna be really good. I'm excited. I like this transfer. I think the colors are on point. I love the shape of the fish. I love how they're swimming. I think they just need the right thing to work with. And I just really like it. I like the whole movement part of all of this. I like the fact that fish are swimming. I like the fact that the spraying is making it really look like actual water. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Don't forget to leave it in the comments below what y'all think I should do with the legs of this piece. If I should take the legs and keep them black, or if I should spray them gold. Because y'all know I'm obsessed with the gold. And if I could, I would make everything gold. But we will see. What was it before I started? Well, since I shut the lid and jammed the lock together, I need to get my hammer and pry it apart. It's a homemade wood box that I picked up at the thrift store. Somebody made this box. Maybe it had a purpose. I don't think it had a speaker in it because there's no holes. But somebody made this box and did a darn good job of it because it's sturdy as heck, but it's also very, very heavy. So I'm going to put legs on it and make a table. We're going to make a table out of a wood box from the Goodwill. And speaking of Goodwill, I haven't been there in a couple days, so maybe I should go back, because if you don't go, you'll never find the treasures. And I like to look for treasures, that's for sure. So you can stipple this paint, you can spray this paint, you can smash the paint. You can do whatever you want with this paint. It's truly easy to use, and I think you would have a lot of fun. Give Terra a try. If you haven't tried it yet, check out with your local retailer. It only comes in the size can that I'm showing you right now. This is the only size can they have, but this paint goes a long way. Like, I didn't use a lot of paint on this project. You're gonna find that Terra paint just keeps going and going and going. I mean, I think I opened this one in May and I still have a half left, and I've painted a lot of projects. I think because you get in here with the water and you move it around and you mash it, it's just a different way of painting. It really is a true artisan paint, and I think that until you try it, it's hard to describe. But once you try it, I know you're gonna love it, because I love it. I love it. So that is it for me, my friends. If you have any questions, you can drop them below. You can always send me a message. My name is Melissa. I'm the owner artist here at the Top Drawer RVA. I did link in the description my Facebook page, but I'm across all platforms. I do have some basic training videos on Terra on my YouTube if you need to check it out. But I think I'm gonna just let this sit, like this big pile of water that's sitting here. I want it to kind of dry up and make a really murky base for those super cutie fish. I think it's gonna be adorable. Come watch me again next week, and I will definitely be putting up finished pictures on my own Facebook page, so you better come and follow so you can see the final product. And this week's project was the beautiful hand painting dresser behind me, which is gorgeous and done. I just need to line her drawers and put a new back on her, and she is fabulous. Saving all the things, trash treasure all over the place. I'm all over it. I hope you guys had a great day, had fun playing with Terra and seeing the new balance transfer. And stay tuned, work in progress. I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Dixie Belle transfers are really easy to use. All you need to do is remove the white backing paper and then put your piece down onto the project you're working on. You're then going to want to smooth with your hand and use the enclosed burnishing tool to gently burnish down the transfer onto your piece. So for this project, I continue to add the beautiful little koi fish around the top, the sides, and the front of this piece. They're very easy to use, they bend easily. I just made sure that I kept my surface fairly horizontal while working so that my paper didn't actually slip and then move or crack the transfer. After I finished applying my transfer to all parts of this small box, I then came in and sealed it. You can use a couple of different options when it comes to sealing your transfers. For this project, I used the Terra Wax, which currently is not available in stores, but please check with your local retailer to see when it will be available again. So I like to use the Terra Wax to seal my transfers. It keeps them solid. I apply the wax, wait a couple hours, puff back, and it looks like $1,000,000. But if you didn't have the Terra Wax available for sealing your project, you're able to seal your transfers with any one of the Dixie Belle clear coats or Dixie Belle Wax. I then added gilding wax in black and a little bit of copper around the edges for shine, and this little project was complete.